From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I hope you are feeling the same. And boy, oh boy, today is the day. Fresh off of the national championship game from last night, which was absolutely incredible. I know a lot of people were very into that as well too. I know I was into it. I thought it was an amazing effort. You know what I mean? It was an amazing game. It was amazing moments and things of that nature. But, all in all, it's college basketball. And, it has to be one winner. And literally, like, when you look at everything that occurred, you say to yourself that, the best team won, the right team won. At the end of the day, you would have loved to see San Diego State Rays, have that big moment, have that big win, but it didn't happen. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But we did cash out the bet I did give you guys yesterday on the show. I did tell you guys to go ahead and take the under team total for San Diego State last night, and that was 62. They scored 59, so you cash that out. My clients, I was very contrarian. I went ahead and I gave them the -7 on UConn last night. I also did the over 70 last night, so those were client plays. I also teased the UConn -3 and also teased the over 128 last night. So we got that one home as well too. That was remarkable. That was exactly what the doctor ordered. So we did everything that we were supposed to do last night in regards to winning for clients and everything. So pretty much it is what it is. Well, I did. It's not a we thing because I don't have a team of people helping me put this together. So let's go ahead and make sure that we got that straightened out. But UConn last night displayed a great effort last night, showing that when you have a team that has one goal and one goal only, and that's to win this game and win the game and win the game big, yeah, that's exactly what UConn was. UConn was fast, long, and ready for the world. That's all it was. And I really truly feel like this was one of the more dominant runs that you'll ever see in a college basketball tournament for a college tournament that was so unpredictable. But we can say that pretty much UConn took care of their business with everything that was laid in front of them. They had Iona the first game. That was pretty much a pretty good bad deal for them. Also, they wound up getting St. Mary's in the next game. St. Mary's was seen as a possible upset, but there was nowhere near upset happening in that game. Then they got Arkansas. Arkansas was the AC. We don't know if they would have beat Kansas. Let's keep it real. Kansas was a team that had a lot of talent, and Arkansas was a team that had a lot of talent as well too. But the player that would have put them over the top for real in a game like this was out. So, that was kind of a whatever. And then they took it. Then they beat Gonzaga. They beat two West Coast Conference teams and a team from the Metro Atlantic. And then they beat a team from the SEC. So who did they really beat to get to the Final Four? Think about that part. That's why I say on my header, UConn wins fifth title on one of the most dominant runs in tourney history, but was the path easy? And the way that as easy as they made it, you can say, yeah, because playing Miami was probably the best team that they played out the whole group. Miami was the number one team out of the ACC. They didn't win the ACC, but they were the number one team record-wise out of the ACC. They were the number one seed, not Duke, not North Carolina. So pretty much Miami did get into that game and make it somewhat of a game. It was 19-19, and then it just got out of hand after that. San Diego State has to do nothing but clap for their efforts because San Diego State was always a school that just always came up short. It's like they could never get past the first weekend ever. And the moment they got past the first weekend, they just kept going. And they finally were rewarded for having the best team in the state of California. And I thought that was beautiful that this team was able to get as far as they did because in reality, I had them going home on the first day of the tournament. And that was them playing Charleston. I thought Charleston was a team that was going to make some big moves here in the tournament. They didn't do it. So they were able to get that big win. And then they didn't care about Furman getting their big win over Virginia. Even though we all know San Diego State probably played Virginia. Virginia probably wins that game because they're literally the same team. So, everybody says, okay, well, this ride should be over. Alabama was just too tough. Alabama had won their first two games by 25 points or better. They went in there and they lost by 7. Played against the best defense they played all season. Scored the lowest amount of points they had scored in any game all year. And San Diego State moves on. This San Diego State needed a little bit of ref help to go ahead and get that East Championship. Well, not the East Championship, but I mean the South Championship. And then they needed a whole lot of things to go right on Saturday. They were down 13 points, stormed all the way back, found themselves with the final possession, and hit the game-winning shot at the buzzer to get them to Monday night. And I thought they were too tired by the time they got to Monday night. And I said that very quickly early in the day yesterday. This was a great game, regardless of anything, because both these programs really did elevate themselves to a higher level. Now you're going to take San Diego State a lot more seriously, and UConn now has their respect back. Nobody respected UConn when they were in the AAC. I'm going to keep it real. Nobody cared about UConn when they were in the AAC. Even though they won a national title, they felt that was like a lean year for college basketball when they did do that. So pretty much you have yourself a very great moment in time. You know what I mean? So pretty much it is what it is at the end of the day. And I think that this is something that was incredible. It's their 5th title, but I'm going to tell you this. They're not a blue blood. Let's just go ahead and knock that out right now. UConn is a team that has won their championships kind of in spurts. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the moment. They kind of fell into it. The last 3 they kind of fell into. The first 2, those were teams that were favored to win those tourneys. But let's just keep it real. All 3 of these tourneys that they were in were probably the most 3 unpredictable tourneys that they've won their last 3 titles in. And I'm not taking anything away from UConn. UConn was just prepared for their matchup, and they went ahead and they did the damn thing. And UConn did make history. Only one other team can say that they have more than one coach to win them a national title, and that's going to be UConn. UConn is in the same lineage now as Kentucky, who has had multiple coaches win, I think, 4 all time, 4 or 5. And in recent years, they've had 3. Their last 3 have been by 3 different coaches. Tubby Smith, also Rick Pitino, and then also John Calipari. So, it is what it is. But UConn is the national champion. This is one of the better college basketball seasons that we ever witnessed, and I can't wait till next year. I think that next year will be even better because especially the way that the transfer portal is rolling and the fact that nobody's leaving school anymore. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. All right, so let's go ahead and move forward and get into our next topic in hand, and that's going to be this topic right here. It's going to be about Shakur Stevenson and Jarrett Big Baby Anderson, both back in the ring this weekend. Will they be challenged? Well, you got a heavyweight in Big Baby Anderson, who's, I wouldn't say it's a step-up fight, but it's a fight that is a stay-busy fight. It's a fight that's another showcase fight for him. It's to be something that's pretty big. I'm hearing that he is very close to having a hometown fight as well, too, back in his native Toledo, Ohio. So this is a good way for him to, once again, get to know the American audience a little bit more because he's seen as the next big U.S. heavyweight to be in the game. He's young, and I know that they're trying to get him ready for a future fight with one of these champions once that opportunity becomes available. I think Jared Big Baby Anderson is a very exciting fighter, and I'm very high on the heavyweights. We need to support our U.S. heavyweights because we need to know who's going to be the next up to be that man, to be that champion, to be that dude. Because once a person in the U.S. becomes the heavyweight champion, I don't care what you guys say who love the lightweights and the flyweights and the straw weights and the baby weights and the little people. They don't run boxing. They are merely just warm-up fights. Heavyweight boxing is boxing, period, point blank. The rest of it is great. But this is what brings the butts to the seats. And Jared Big Baby Anderson, they are creating him, they are molding him the correct way. And I think that his biggest moment is going to become when he whoops Tyson Fury. I'm calling it today. Whenever they let him fight Tyson Fury, he'll whoop him. Because Tyson Fury literally needed Jared Big Baby Anderson to really be able to go at Deontay and be able to handle Deontay's power. This was his sparring partner, his number one sparring partner. So there's a lot of high hopes for Big Baby Anderson because his future to me is much, much more bigger than Shakur's future. Shakur is great. Shakur is a silver medalist. Shakur is already a two-time two-division world champion as well too. He's going to be fighting here in the lightweight division, his third division, and since he started his career back in 2017, his third division in 6 years. You know, he has a real steady climb to the top. You know what I mean? And I think that it's a beautiful thing, but I think he's somebody who wants too much too fast, and that's the biggest problem. And I think that he may get pretty humbled when he does get the guy that is pretty much that dude. You know what I mean? Will it be Devin Haney? Will it be Tank? Will it be Tank? Will it be Ryan Garcia? Will it be Teofimo? I think that his ambition to fight everybody is great. But I just think that sometimes he just needs to dial it back a little bit and go with the plan that's being put together for him. I feel like a lot of guys just really need to take their time. Floyd Mayweather took his time. He became the biggest name in boxing. Sugar Shane Mosley took his time, became the biggest face in boxing for a while. Everybody wants to be Oscar De La Hoya, fresh out the 92 Olympics. I promise you. All these young prospects feel like they should have the same right to a title by the time they're after their 13th fight, and they should already be on pay-per-view by the time they get to their 20th fight. But Oscar had everything that checked off the box. He had good looks. He was an Olympian. He also came from East LA, Los Angeles, where it's a very, very, it's a rough area, straight up. You know what I mean? And you got to be a tough person to come up out of there. And so he had a lot of things working out in his favor. And also he was a part of the greatest days in sports when the Olympics were highly touted, and being a boxing Olympian was very, very huge because those guys were considered master boxers. So that is something that works out very well for Shakur moving forward, is that he's a master boxer. I can say that today. And I know that some of you over analyst on the internet and everything that are hearing me will probably, no. Yeah. Well, as the great Roger Mayweather used to say, you don't know shit about boxing. And it shows a lot on a daily basis. People know a lot about what they're told, and then they regurgitate that and think they know something. It's not like that. Boxing is really truly for the purest of the world, but it really needs to be for people who have common sense as well too. You just can't be always over there just lying because it's your favorite. If your favorite is the one not doing his job the right way, then you shouldn't have to make any excuses for that person. That person needs to step up to the plate. That's what they need to do. But this is going to be a great card because they got three young, hungry contenders here. I know that they've been champions, things like that, but they're not big names yet. You know what I mean? And I think that this will help all three guys because Keyshawn Davis is fighting this weekend as well too. So this is the three that probably will be going everywhere together on Top Rank when it comes down to it, because this is all about selling tickets, and New Jersey should be absolutely rocking for they should be absolutely rocking for Shakur. And Shakur once again will probably go ahead and be upon his third sellout. Yeah, a lot of people weren't saying that, but he sold out Vegas and he sold out New Jersey last time he fought there. And it looks like he's going to sell out New Jersey again this weekend. So that's what it's all about, putting butts in the seats. That's what's going to get all these guys the dollars. That's what's going to get all these guys these title fights. So with that, that's going to be that. So we move forward. Let's go ahead and talk about the draft. And in the latest PFF mock draft, the Panthers are drafting Young over Stroud. Let me tell you why I feel like that's a strong, strong move and the right move, because I love CJ Stroud. But I think CJ Stroud's best bet is going to be in Houston. Even though I felt like CJ Stroud, when you had, say, possibly the Raiders getting the first pick, he would be a Raider. And if, say, that the Colts possibly got the first pick, he might have been a Raider. But I think he might have been a Colt. But I think that when they really think about it and they really look at it, how are you going to pass up the Heisman Trophy winner? And how are you going to pass up a guy who played for, which is considered a dynasty in college football, even though Ohio State is somewhat like a dynasty as well, too. Ohio State's not known for having great quarterbacks, but Alabama's really not known for having great quarterbacks either, other than a guy named Joe Willie Namath. So, you know, pretty much both these schools are not quarterback factories. And that's what a lot of teams probably are looking at the end of the day as well, too. But when you look at who the other options are, these two are much, much better. But in all honesty, there's like three quarterbacks that they don't even mention right now that are, I feel like, will be better NFL quarterbacks than these two because the situations that they're going to. Now, Stroud will be great in Houston because you got DeMeco Ryans, a former player, a recent player in the NFL, coaching that team. And then it's a chocolate city as well, too. So he'll blend in very well in that city. Also, kind of same thing goes for Charlotte a little bit as well, too. Charlotte is actually a town that is producing a lot of really great stars and everything right now. They got LaMelo playing for the Hornets, and that's pretty big for them out there. And then, you know, they just got rid of their star Christian McCaffrey for the Panthers. So bringing in Bryce, he would automatically be the face of the franchise and the biggest star on the team. And he does have the credibility to have the confidence of the fan base. I don't think Stroud would have the confidence of the fan base because off top, they're going to say he's an Ohio State quarterback. And, you know, we have never seen success with an Ohio State quarterback. So Bryce, to me, makes the upper management very comfortable. He makes Coach Wright very comfortable. And it's a guy that can take your coaching. I don't know if CJ Stroud can take coaching like that because Ryan Day is not a good coach. He's a great coordinator, but when it comes down to actually coaching guys, I don't know if he's one of those guys. You know what I mean? So we know that Bryce has probably had to deal with the toughest coach of all time in Nick Saban. You know what I mean? Because Nick Saban will challenge you. He truly will challenge you. And Nick Saban was able to find so many great things to say about Bryce Young. Like literally, I've never heard him talk about quarterbacks as highly as he talked about Bryce Young over Bryce Young's tenure at Alabama. And mind you, they didn't win a national championship with him as the starter. You know what I mean? They didn't win a national championship. It's that simple. And he was the Heisman, you know, and he's a guy who showed when the game is on the line, he's probably the guy that you want being your quarterback. CJ Stroud never had to be put in that position really to where he had to be the guy winning the game at the end. And when he was put in that position, he didn't get his team in the right spot to get that team to win. We all remember what happened in the national championship game. And I know they put that more on coaching or whatever, but dude, if you're a baller, if you're a player, fuck what coach is talking about. You go do great things. Coach So coaches, sometimes we're just overcoaching to overcoach. We want you to figure it out for us. You know what I mean? We're trying to give up the best option, but you're the one that's on the field. So it's just a lot of things that tell me that everything directs you to Bryce Young when it comes to who should the Panthers pick. I just really feel that the best fit for CJ is being in Houston, because Houston's the type of place that they're not going to put too much pressure on you right away. And Carolina, they're not going to put too much pressure on you right away, but they're going to challenge you. And I think that he'll have good mentors there as well. And he can always call Cam Newton up, a guy who was an SEC quarterback, who was a Heisman Trophy winner and was a winner in college as well, too. And this would be something, and that would be a great mentor to have. I just think that it makes total sense that Bryce Young is drafted first by the Carolina Panthers. I think that Stroud is still the better quarterback out the two. But I would say, if I want a leader, if I'm an owner, if I want a guy to lead my team, I'm taking Bryce Young. If I want a guy to get a lot of stats and be a great individual, I'll go get CJ Stroud. But if you want to win, I think right now, if you want to be in the playoffs and be right in the playoffs, you go get Bryce Young. And if you want to build around a quarterback and try to do something in the next few years, you go get Stroud. It's that simple. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and take my first commercial break of the show. And when I get back, we're going to be talking baseball, talking the Dodgers, and all that good stuff. So pretty much you guys hang tight. This is the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners and I'll Have Another and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Tune into Big Wave Boxing every week with a brand new guest with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper, getting the best boxing stories, best boxing angles, and the truth when it all comes down to the sweet science. Tune in to Big Wave Boxing on the Prime Wave Media channel on YouTube.
All right, we are back with the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper. So let's go ahead and jump into baseball. And then we got the Blue Crew Daily. And as you guys see, I got Roberts and Jason Hayward here on the cover. Blue Crew Daily. Dodgers explode for a 7-run fifth inning after trailing 4-2 to beat the Rockies 13-4. The Dodgers are now 3-2. The Dodgers, the Dodgers are pretty funny. Opening night, they scored 8 runs. Saturday night, they scored 11. Monday night, they scored 13. This team has dropped 34 runs in 5 games, like almost 35 runs in 5 games. So that would be, they're averaging 7 runs a game right now, 6.5, 7 runs a game. But in the 2 games they lost, they only scored 1 run. So this Dodger team is exactly like they've been for the last 5 years. Great pitching. And when they get their hitting, they're unbeatable. But when they don't get hitting, it becomes a chess match, and it becomes a very frustrating situation, because then the Dodgers have to kind of lean on really lean on a bullpen that's not all the way fine-tuned yet, and I think that they're still leaning on guys that are are guys that we're very familiar with. Vezia is a guy that I feel is always a pitcher that if he's not on, he's going to lose you a game. And Grady Hall is a guy that I feel like if he doesn't come in there throwing strikes right away, he's going to give up several runs as well too. Both those guys were the reasons why the Dodgers lost when they stepped into the game in the 8th inning. And the Dodgers had leads in these games as well too, mind you. You know what I mean? Except for the Sunday game, they were tied 1-1. But Thor had a great effort. He didn't get enough run support. Also, same thing went for Dustin May. Had a great pitching effort, didn't get enough run support. So the Dodgers need to fix that and fix that immediately. Last night, the Dodgers kind of ran into a little bit of a issue, though. They were down 4-2 in the 5th inning. And then literally the Dodgers just went absolutely ape. Seriously, Dodgers were incredible last night. Jason Hayward, the reason why he's on the cover today was my player of the game last night. Jason Hayward had 3 RBIs. He was able to hit his first home run as a Dodger as well too last night. He also got a sacrifice RBI in as well. He had a 2-run home run last night, and he looked like the guy that got paid a whole lot of money to go play for the Cubs years ago. He was seen as probably the next up when he was in Atlanta. They got really excited about this guy. They thought he was going to be better than David Justice at the end of the day. But it didn't work out like that. And now Hayward is I would say a feasible vet. And I would say that he was a sneaky pickup for the Dodgers. Yeah, it wasn't flashy when they confirmed that Jason Hayward came, because it was almost like you're picking up a guy who's literally like almost getting thrown away by the Cubs. You know what I mean? Literally, they're thinking that this guy's career is almost over. And it's nowhere near over when you're a Dodger. And the Dodgers seem to always find something left in every player that comes and plays for them. You see what happened with Albert Pujols? Albert Pujols was damn near out the league. He came to the Dodgers just to come, get a couple at bats, and try to, get the 500 home runs. He messed around and got himself 2 contracts with the Dodgers. He got to stick around with the Dodgers for a year, and then he came back for another year, and then he was able to go ahead and finish up his career in St. Louis. And the funniest thing about Albert is that Albert wanted to just let it go after he got traded to the Dodgers, but the Dodgers put the spirit of the game back in him. So the Dodgers are really good at bringing vets back to life, and you can see that Thor is day and night compared to what Thor was doing in Anaheim last year and in Philadelphia. He was back to being Thor. So the Dodgers are a special unit, man, and they are just so good at getting players back to where they need to get to as players. And I think that's very critical towards a team's success. And the Dodgers, all they want to be is successful at the end of the day. And it really shows that the Dodgers, that's what they're all about, is being successful. It's not about, who's the star, who's the big enchilada. It's all about the Dodgers being successful. And I think that they bring in the right players to chase success. And that's exactly what they did last night with the efforts that they had. And then Will Smith added in another home run last night. He had a 2-run shot. That's his second home run of the season as well, too. And then you had a really good effort from James Outman, who had 2 triples last night, and he was able to get himself 3 RBIs. And then you also had a great effort from the kid himself, Miguel Vargas. He was able to get that single. He was able to get his first RBI of the season last night, and he's batting .375 already to start the season off. But Outman is the one that really impresses me. He's batting .333. He already has 5 RBIs on 4 hits. One of them's a homer. 2 of them are triples. And then he also has 5 runs on the season, which leads the team. That's incredible right there. And JD Martinez was able to let one fly the other day as well too. He's doing pretty good too. He's got he's got the second most hits on the team. Freddie Freeman, of course, has the most hits on the team right now. He's batting .421. But I'm looking at the Dodgers average. Everything is pretty good. Only guys that are kind of struggling right now are Muncy and Rojas, but everybody else is pretty on, you know what I mean? And that's good. So The Dodgers, I really do get excited about what to see here with the Dodgers, and the Dodgers are good right now. They don't have anybody of significance on the IR except for the guys that were already there, and nobody's gotten hurt here as of late. So the Dodgers should be in good shape moving forward. So I like what I see tonight. I think that the Dodgers are actually under play tonight against the Rockies because I think Julio Urias is going to eat up innings tonight. But the ace for the Rockies is pretty damn good himself, and he had a great outing against and that's going to be German Marquez. He had a great outing against the Padres last week. So I think that this is going to wind up being a pitcher's duel between two very, very good pitchers. Even though the Rockies don't have the greatest pitching, they do have some pitching. You know what I mean? With a few of the guys they got. German Marquez is that guy. So with that, we move forward. Let's go ahead and jump into what we have for the baseball games today. In the baseball games today for our MLB Tuesday night, we have ourselves 14 games tonight, and these games are all, it's still early in the season, so everybody doesn't need to get too far-fetched and too excited and too crazy or anything of that nature. So, damn, I'm over here. And I'm following the Diamondbacks game. I actually do have Arizona today with the I have Arizona on a dog bet for my clients. So hopefully we can get that one home. But we got pretty much every team in the MLB playing today. I think, because I'm trying to figure out who got the day off today. I think, it's going to be Giants White Sox, and they played yesterday. But I think that was kind of planned already because I think the weather is pretty bad in Chicago today. So, because it looked like it was getting bad yesterday. So, but the Cubs and the Reds, this is a good one because this is kind of a surprise. You got the Cubs in here coming into this game 1-3, and then you got the Reds who've won their first 3 out of 4 games and actually won their last 3 in a row. They lost the opener, and then they wound up winning their next 3 games in a row. And they were kind of dominant in those 2 wins against Pittsburgh. But yesterday, they had to really pull out all the stops yesterday. They spotted the Cubs 3 runs in the top of the first. Bellinger hit a 3-run shot. But then they were able to get those 3 runs back in the bottom of the first. And then at a point, they took the lead in the second inning and then the Cubs wound up getting a 3-run fifth and going up 6-4. But Jason Volser in the bottom of the 5th inning pretty much put the exclamation point on this game and hit a 3-run shot to give the Reds the 7-6 lead to get them the win. Fernando Cruz gets the win. Drew Smyly was the loser, and Derek Law gets the save. So I'm looking at the stats right now, and I look at this, and the Cubs games have went under a lot from what I'm seeing. You know what I mean? And it looks like the Reds games are somewhat in the middle. But really, that was like the first Reds game that truly went over the other day. You know what I mean? Like went over to the point to where you're like, yeah, that one was pretty crazy. But you got the Cubs losing 3 in a row. That I don't know if they want to get used to losing like this. And it's the Reds. So really, all in all, I really can't pick a winner here. So I like the under 9 in this spot. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But this should be a really, really good game today. And it's the Cubs and the Reds. Always a fun spot. All right, so let's go ahead and move forward to our next spot. This is going to be our next game, the Twins and the Marlins. The Twins and the Marlins. Twins coming here 4-0. Marlins are 1-5. Twins, they absolutely were crushing the ball yesterday. They won that game running away, actually. They won that game yesterday 11-1, and it was just kind of bad. You know what I mean? Because you thought Trevor Rogers would be decent in that game, but he was absolutely terrible. And it showed, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't good. But you got a Minnesota team that kind of, they kind of giving them a cherry spot with this schedule that they started the season off with. They had a really good dominant run over the Royals this weekend. They only gave up 4 runs over the weekend. They wound up outscoring them 11-4 in that group. And then they pretty much matched their total for the season and won that game 11-1. So right now, this team has actually outscored their opponents 22-5 to start the season off. Minnesota is in tune right now with each other. They may have the best lineup in the American League when you really look at it, because they got some guys here. And I know it's early, but they got some guys. They got some guys who are going to be really good. And Joey Gallo has just pretty much got his mojo back. Joey Gallo already has 3 home runs. He's batting 308 right now. He has 7 RBIs on the season as well, too. 4 hits, 3 of them are home runs. And literally, this guy is playing some real inspired baseball, because he knows that if this doesn't work, he's out of the league. It's just really that simple. So he's doing it, and Buxton hasn't even got off yet. So that's how good this team is playing right now. Buxton's batting 375 to start the season off. But Larnach is an absolute beast. That guy went nuts yesterday. So I like what I see a lot with this Twins team. Now, the Marlins, once again, great pitching. But the Marlins got a kid on this team that's really good. And that's going to be this is going to be their second baseman, Luis Arias. Luis Arias is already batted 21 times. He already has 11 hits. I think he leads the MLB in hits this year as well, too, already, 5 games in. And he was getting a bunch of hits all weekend long. They just weren't winning any games. The guy is excellent. The guy is really, really good. So there's a lot of things working in their favor, but I think tonight is going to be one of those nights where you say to yourself that, you really don't want to, overplay the Twins, because you got Alan Carter on the mound. Alan Carter was the Cy Young. So pretty much you got a elite pitcher for the Marlins. And I think tonight, with the way the Marlins have started the season and the way that they haven't played well at all, I think they've lost their last. I think they won the opener and they've lost their last 4 in a row. No, they won the second game. So they've lost their last 3 in a row, but they're 1-4. So it got to be better, in my opinion. So tonight it will be better. I got them winning this game, and I got them winning by 2 or more runs. I like them with the 1.5 tonight. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. We'll move forward from there. All right, we got the Rays and the Nationals. This is a interleague game between AL East and NL East. You got the Rays coming in here 4-0. Rays have probably had the best start out of anybody, because they literally dominated the Tigers all weekend long. And then they came into this game yesterday and dominated the Nationals as well, too. So I think that, once again, this is going to wind up being an over bet to the Rays. I'm not going to take the Nats to win, because the Nats messed us up last night on the money with the dog play. We're going to go ahead and do it a little different. We're going to take the insurance spot and take the plus 1.5. That just means that they'll keep this game close. They'll keep it within a run. If they win, great for them, but just keep the game within a run so we can cash the damn ticket. That's all I ask. But plus 1.5 on the Nats tonight. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. All right, let's move forward. Let's go ahead and jump into our next game, which is going to be the Brewers and the Mets. This game is going to be in Milwaukee as well, too. Milwaukee played an early day game yesterday. It was their home opener, and they absolutely crushed the Mets yesterday. Tonight on the mound, they have two pretty good pitchers going. Max Scherzer, future Hall of Famer. Wade Miley. He's not a future Hall of Famer, but Wade Miley is a guy that is a credible pitcher here in the MLB. But the thing is, though, Wade Miley is probably not going to go that long tonight. This means that their relievers are going to be the main sources for pitching tonight. Neither one of these teams are hitting the ball out the ballpark yet. So I think that this is more of a pitching type of game in all essence of the word. But I think that all in all, I can trust Scherzer a little bit more in this spot, because I know Scherzer is still kind of seething from losing the opening day. Well, not losing the opening day, but, I think he wanted to do a bit better when he went against the Marlins. So I think tonight this should be a good spot for you to jump on the Mets. The Mets, I'm going to take them straight up. I would have loved to take the Mets with the 1.5 tonight, but I'd rather take a 1.5 with a home team tonight. And then I'd rather take, if I feel like a team is supposed to win the game tonight, I'll spend the extra, and that's what I'm doing. I'm taking the 155 on the Mets tonight with the money line. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. All right, let's go ahead and jump into our final game of the group here, and that's going to be the Orioles and the Rangers. The Orioles and the Rangers. This is going to be a very, very good game. Orioles, I don't care what anybody says. Yeah, they're 2-2, but the Orioles, let's keep it real. The Orioles have stepped into this season, and they've really, really have taken on, this new attitude in a sense, in my opinion. This team, yeah, you lost the last 2 in a row to Boston, but they got a great win last night against Texas. They beat them 2-0. But they should have won that game on Saturday. They were up 7-1. Boston had a two-run shot in the bottom of the ninth to win it, and that's about it. But in those first 2 games, this team showed that they are one of the better offenses in the MLB. They got a lot of young studs in that group. They got a lot of really good players that have bright futures in that group. And I think that when you put guys like Cedric Mullins in there, and then you got a guy like Mountcastle, and then also another player that sticks out a lot, Gunnar Henderson. Like, you just start hearing these names and you just start thinking about, could this team possibly be a future World Series champ? And, you got Rushman, who was absolutely crushing it this weekend as well, too. So there's a lot of things just working out very well in their favor. And I'm looking at the batting average of all the guys who start. They're most of them are well over 300 as well, too. So this team is taking some good shape. They are giving up a lot of runs, though. As a squad, they are giving up a lot of runs. They gave up 27 runs this weekend to Boston. Boston scored 9 runs in each one of those games, but they shut out Texas yesterday. And I know a lot of people probably were heavy on Texas, but the moment I saw Texas 1.5 with the plus 150, I knew that they were up against a very tough game. So tonight, I'm going to take the Orioles with the money line because I think that the Orioles are going to catch up with the Rangers, who had a good start to the season. They wound up winning their first 3 games of the year, which was very unprecedented for this team because they usually don't do that, but they swept Philadelphia over the weekend. And then they got a wake-up call. I know that probably it was a lot of hype because they had the TV game the night before, something that they're not used to. So a lot of times it's a hangover type situation and you won't get into that game, right? But all in all, tonight, this is my dog. I'm taking Baltimore with the plus 120. So this is the Bet Us dog bet of the day in the MLB. And also, if you guys are looking for a sports book, you guys go to my Twitter and the link is right there. Press the link, sign up, let me know, and you will get a whole week free of PTSI exclusive client bets. All right. So make sure you sign up for betus.com if you want to go ahead and get a week free with Pop DiBiase. But you got to make a deposit as well, too. You just can't sign up and say, Pop, I got an account. You got to sign up and put some money in the account as well, too. All right. So with that, we're going to go ahead and take our last commercial break. And when I get back, we're going to be talking hoops and then we're going to be talking tickets. So you guys stay tuned. This is the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles with the one and only Pop DiBiase. The Primetime.
Now you and your friends can compete in the sport of kings and win big with Stable Duel. Get the app, pick your horses, and get in on the thrill of horse racing with daily games competing against other players. Bring home the glory and the cash and move up the annual leaderboard while you leave your competition in the dust. Get in the game with Stable Duel. Play, race, win.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll have another in Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
All right, we are here. We are back. Let's go ahead and jump into it because I gotta move. Because we almost close to the end of the show. So let me make sure I'm moving. But NBA Tuesday night, everybody who's on the schedule tonight is literally in a playoff mood, in a shamood. Literally everybody tonight is vying for the playoffs tonight or trying to spoil the playoffs for teams tonight. Every team in the NBA literally is playing except for 4. And one of them is the Clippers because they got to get ready for the Lakers tomorrow night for the biggest game, I think, in some time when it comes to the Clippers and the Lakers because it's going to be all about playoff seeding and everything with tomorrow night. But we got to worry about tonight. Let's go ahead and talk about the state of the Lakers real quick. Lakers coming into this one very, very good tonight. The Lakers really do need to go ahead and look at this one as the game that they truly need to win. The Lakers have won their last 6 out of 7 games. The Lakers are now since the trade back in February, the Lakers, since that trade back in February, the Lakers have actually just taken it upon themselves. They've actually are now 14-7 since that point. So the Lakers are in good shape, man. They truly are. They ever since the trade deadline, ever since LeBron won the broke the record. I'm just going off that point. The Lakers are actually 14-8. Okay. And that's pretty good in their last 22 games. That's probably their best mark. Overall, the Lakers for in 2023, much better team. As I was saying on Jeff's show the other day. I mean, on Jeff's show today, not the other day, but today, actually, because they won 9 games in January. They won 5 games in February. They won 10 last month. That's a total of 24 games. Okay. And they just won another one. So that's 25 games they've won this year. That's absolutely, incredible because the Lakers were really written off. Like they were truly written off. And the Lakers in their last 10, they've won the last 7 out of 10. And, it's just all positive vibes in LA. You got AD 38, 38, and 40 in his last 3 games. You got LeBron, who just came off of an easy triple-double, but LeBron's playing with no pressure because AD is the lead man right now, and all he is a support player for the Lakers, and that's a beautiful thing for a guy who's almost 40. So the Lakers tonight, it just really doesn't matter really what they thinking and how they feel about this game. Every game is a must-win situation. You got a team in Utah that is really falling off the wagon. Let's just straight up keep it real. This team is absolutely struggling right now. This team went 5-9 last month, and they just already lost their first game of the month. They know that they're possibly not going to be in the playoffs, even though they vied for it all season. Looks like Utah is going to be on their way out because they're actually 2.5 games out now, and the Lakers will probably end their season tonight when it comes to a playoff if they win this game. But I know the Jazz want to play a spoiler as well too because don't nobody like LeBron. So the Lakers have to understand they need to have their head on the swivel. They have a winning record now. They're a half game out of the 5th seed as well too. And keep it real, the 4th seed is probably a miracle dream. But, all in all, the Lakers look good tonight. Right now, from what I'm seeing, LeBron's questionable with the foot. So he's probably going to be a go because we would know by the morning time if LeBron's going to be a go or not. And then we have D'Lo, who's probable, and AD is probable, but they have to put AD on the injury list. But I know AD is playing, and we'll have to know by game time if they're going to have D'Angelo Russell in it. But from what I'm thinking, I think all 3 play tonight. So Lakers, big game tonight, big moment tonight. Hopefully they can go ahead and get this one home tonight as well too, because if they do get this home, they're tied with the Clippers, and then they'll play the biggest game in Clipper history tomorrow. Not Laker history. Lakers got 17 titles. Clippers don't have anything. You know what I mean? Everything is about beating the Lakers with the Clippers. Just know that. All right, so let's move forward. Let's talk about the game tonight. Wolves coming into this game 43-35. The Wolves are 39-40. Wolves are the 9th seed right now. The Wolves, it's crazy with the Wolves. The Wolves went from being like the 4th and 5th and 6th seed. Now they're the 9 seed, damn near out the playoffs. So you got Minnesota. They got Cat back. They are a game and a half out. So this is a must-win situation for them. You got Brooklyn, who's pretty much in the driver's seat to go ahead and actually solidify that 6th seed, but they still need to try to win this game tonight. So when I look at everything that you had to look at when it comes to this type of game tonight, you got a Nets team that at one point had lost 5 in a row. Now they've actually went ahead and won their last 4 out of 5. So the Nets are playing great basketball right now. They're at home tonight. They got their next 4 out of 5 games at home, including that Jazz win on Sunday. So Brooklyn is looking to solidify that 6 hole. And Minnesota is looking to try to at least jump into the 8th spot so they can give themselves a chance. So with that, I'm just going to go ahead and say this is what's going to happen in this game. I think what happens in this game is that we have an over 224 with the Wolves and the Nets. We move forward. Kings. The Kings are in the playoffs, but they haven't won the Pacific Division yet. But it's going to be crazy that the Pacific Division is going to have the whole division, and the division is literally 3 through 7. That's nuts. You know what I mean? And Sacramento still has not won their division yet, but they clinched the playoff spot, so they're pretty comfortable in that regard. New Orleans is in a must-win situation tonight, so you know that a lot of the money is going to be leaning towards New Orleans because they're the desperate team tonight. The Kings really don't need to win. They really are just waiting on Phoenix to lose another game, so then they can go ahead and officially make themselves the division champs because they're up 4 games. They're not going to lose out on this. I truly don't see that happening. So I like the Kings tonight with the +4 in this spot. I know that New Orleans needs this game badly, but New Orleans still doesn't have Zion. And New Orleans has played some great basketball, though. They've won their last 7 out of 8 games. They're really top tier right now. They're playing at a great level right now. So they're a dangerous squad. So, tonight I do like the +4, but I'm taking the +4 because I think that the Kings can keep it close, but the Pelicans can squeeze out a victory here as well, too, because they play these guys pretty well. So let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the Hawks and the Bulls. The Hawks and the Bulls. Both these teams are chasing a play-in spot right now. You got the Bulls sitting at the 10 seed. You got the Atlanta sitting at the 8 seed. So Atlanta's trying to hold off Toronto, and Chicago's trying to hold off Washington. But Washington's pretty much out of this thing. Washington's 4 games back, so they should be good in that regard. But if Chicago wins this game tonight, they actually jump into the 8 hole from what I'm seeing here, or they move up a little bit. But all these teams will be in a log jam behind Miami. So I look at this. The Bulls are a team that has done pretty good in their last 5. They're 3-3 and they're 4-2. They're 4-2 in their last 6. Okay. And you have an Atlanta team that got a big win the other night over Dallas. And that team in their last 5, they've been kind of back and forth. They're 3-3 in their last 6. So this team has just been playing real middling basketball, all in all. So when I look at this one, I truly do think the team that needs it the most is going to be the Hawks, because the Bulls already know that they are kind of like right where they're at, and they're going to be there. So I like Atlanta tonight with the +180 to win this game. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out, because Atlanta can still win their division. So that's why I'm taking them like this. All right, so we move on. We got the Celtics and the 76ers. This is kind of an easy one for me. You got 2 teams that are kind of just worried about who is going to be the 2nd or 3rd seed. I think everything is pretty much settled in the East. This isn't a must-win situation for either team, in my opinion, but they're still rivals at the end of the day, and it's still a nationally televised game. So they'll be all over this one. I think tonight you don't choose a side. You take the under 227.5. All right, let's go ahead and get to the nightcap, and that's going to be this one right here, OKC and the Warriors. OKC comes into this game, and they need to win this game. The Warriors come into this game, and they know they need to win this game because in all honesty, that would be the biggest fall off ever if they lose tonight and the Lakers win, the Lakers go right to the 6th seed. Like they're already the 6th seed if they win tonight. Because they got the tiebreaker over the Warriors. So the Warriors got the wrong team on their heels now. It's the Lakers. And Oklahoma City literally can end, I think they can end Dallas' season tonight if they win. And I don't know if that's going to happen. So pretty much, I think that the Warriors know they need this game tonight because they don't want to get caught by the Lakers. People can say what they want. Oh, they want to play Sacramento. No, you want to keep winning games consistently. It don't matter who you play. You the Warriors, right? You the world champions. It don't matter who you play. So you don't have to be picky or selective because this is a wide open Western Conference. Don't nobody want to play nobody. So all in all, Thunder Warriors tonight. I actually like the Warriors to run away with this thing. Keep it real. I think that the -8 makes so much sense tonight. I think they win this game by 10 or better. Let's keep it real. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into Talking Tickets. Talking Tickets, I have abundance of tickets for you guys today. Not really, I got two. I got the MLB. Oh, let's get to this one first. The MLB PrimeTime PK6, 67-1. Under 9 Cubs, Reds, 1.5 with the Marlins, plus 150 on that bad boy. You got the Nats, plus 1.5. minus 110 on that bad boy. You got the Mets money line minus 150. Our dog of the day, the Orioles plus 120. And then we go ahead and wrap it up with the under 7.5 with the Rockies and the Dodgers live from Chavez Ravine. So with that, that's going to give us a 67-1 ticket on the PrimeTime PK6. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. Single what you like. All right. Let's go ahead and look at the Super High Five. Super High Five tonight. We got the over 224, Wolves and Nets. We got the Kings plus 4 tonight. We got the Hawks plus 180 tonight. And that's going to be our NBA dog of the day right there. And then we got the under 227.5 with the Celtics and the 76ers. And then we wrap it up with the Thunder. Not the Thunder. It's the Warriors -8. I'll fix it when I tweet it out. But it's the Warriors -8, not the Thunder, okay? So with that, that's going to be a wrap on our show today. I want to thank you guys very much for tuning in. As usual, you guys are the absolute best. Thank you for retweeting, sharing, doing all that great stuff to make sure that we keep the show growing and keep the show moving and keep the show moving and grooving. Also, if you are a sponsor or somebody who does want to have their business promoted, you guys can always DM me or email me at primewavemedia@yahoo.com, and I'll go ahead and I can promote your stuff right here on my show. As you guys know, I do have other sponsors here as well, too, and you can be a part of the big old family of the Prime Wave Media Group. So, yeah. That's going to be it for the show today. I thank you guys very much for tuning in. Shout out to nephew Osman. Thank you for the update. Padres are up 2-0. Of course, the Diamondbacks are going to not show up on my day, on the day I need them to show up. But you know what? We still got some time. I do like that team. That team will figure out a way to score some runs today. So it is what it is. And pretty much with that, that's going to be a wrap on today's show. And I said that for the second time. So you're not going to hear me say it again. So as I always like to say, bet with your head, not with your heart. The movement is moving, and this is the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles, with the one and only Pop DBIC, the PrimeTime Kappa. And I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.